Hey book lovers, Victoria here and you're watching My Books and Me. Today I'm going to be doing a bookshelf tour. I recently reorganized my room and therefore moved my bookshelves and reorganized them, and I thought I'll do a bookshelf tour now before they get messy again. I think my last bookshelf tour was in February of this year. I've definitely got more books since then, and I've definitely organized my bookshelves a little bit better or differently since then. So let's just dive right in. So this is my bookshelf. As you can see, I've got a ton of books that do not fit on my shelf. As always, I organize my books in alphabetical order of author surname. This isn't all of them. I've got two other small shelves that I will show you. So let's just go in. So we have Becoming Kirili Lewis by Jane Harrison, Before She Ignites by Judy Meadows, Love Murder by Saul Black, The Messenger and the Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, P.S. I Like You by Cassie West, Paper Valentine by Brenda Yonoff, The Poison Diaries by someone and Wood and Northumberland, there's other names there but I can't remember them, A Resurrection by Robert Young, Betrothed by Wanda Wiltshire, Mobile Library by David Whitehouse, The Undercurrent by Paula Weston, Asylum, Sanctum and the Asylum Novellas by Madeline Rowe, Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging, It's Okay I'm Wearing Really Big Knickers and Knocked Out by My Nunga Nungas by Louise Renison, Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rash, I got a little V here, Mary and Elizabeth by Emily Purdy, Blaze of Glory by Michael Pryor, The Kiss of Deception by, E. Pearson, I can't quite remember, Akane by Lynette Noni, Newt's Emerald by Garth Nix, Replica by Lauren Oliver, Dumplin by Julie Murphy, and Wild Like Me by Louise Pentland. Then up here we have The Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons by Dan Brown, Blood Brothers, The Hollow, The Pagan Stone by Nora Roberts, We All Looked Up by Tommy Wallace, Butter Snacks and Gumballs by S.A. Wakefield, Nevermore by Jessica Townsend, Daughter of Smoke and Bow by Laini Taylor, History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera, The Pact by Jodie Bacall, The Archived and the Unbound by Victoria Schwab, When You Were Mine by Rebecca Searle, The Alchemist, The Magician and the Sorceress by Michael Scott, The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth and The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan, as well as Magnus Chase and The Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan. I've got a little bookmark holder here and some focuses, some cranes. Then we have The Girl in the Photograph by Kate Riordan, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Hollow City, Library of Souls, and Tales of the Peculiar by Ransom Riggs. We have The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett, The Complete Collection Volumes 1 and 2 by L. Frank Baum, Queens of Geek by Jen Wild, Beloved Poison by E.S. Thompson, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight and Hello, Goodbye and Everything in Between by Jennifer E. Smith, Dying by the Hour by Corey M. Schrum, First Light by Jean Shelter, The Perfectionists, Pretty Little Liars, Flawless, Perfect, Unbelievable, Pretty Little Secrets, Wicked, Killer, Heartless, Wanted and Twisted by Sarah Shepard, A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, Nerve by Jean Ryan, Dead Rules by R.S. Russell, and Kindred Spirits, Attachments, Fangirl, Eleanor and Park, and Landline by Rainbow Rowell. Then, because my shelves aren't wide enough to have my final pile with their spines facing out, we then have Lament by Maggie Stiefvater, Picture Perfect by Jodie Bacall, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table by Roger Lancel Green, The Granny, The Chiselers and the Mammy by Brendan O'Carroll, The Fill-In Boyfriend by Cassie West, Mary Poppins by P.L. Travers, The Lord of the Rings Trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien, Sweep Volume 1 by Kate Tennant, The Book of Lies by Terry Terry, Number in the Ashes by Sabha Tahir, 17 and Gone by Nova Ren Suma, Girl Online on Tour and Girl Online Going Solo by Zoe Sugg, The Circle by Elfgren and Sternberg, Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood, Renegade by J.A. Saunders, If Birds Fly Back by Carly Surasak, Poison Study and Magic Study by Maria V. Schneider, A Series of Unfortunate Events No. 1, The Bad Beginning by Lemony Snicket, and Geek Girl Model Misfit, Geek Girl Geek Drama, and Geek Girl Picture Perfect by Holly Smale. Right, so now on to the actual bookshelves. Now, my bookshelves work across, both shelves. That's how I've done it alphabetically. They're somewhat alphabetically because I've had to put the short books in stacks and the taller books standing up. So it's a bit all over the place, but work with me. So we have Every Other Day by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, The Memory Book by Laura Avery, 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, Trial by Fire, Firewalker and Witch's Pride by Josephine Angelini, Me, Earl and the Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews, The Leaving by Tara Altabrando, Never, Always, Sometimes by Addie Alced, Halo by Alexandra Adornetto, and When Michael Met Mina by Rhonda Abel Faith, plus a little Hermione. Then we have The Belinda King and the Belinda Seat by Laura Anderson, The Haters by Jessie Andrews, Cruel Crown, Red Queen, Glass Sword and King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard, plus a little Harry, plus the special edition of Red Queen up the top here. Over this side we have Dumbledore, Begin and Begin, a Love Oz YA anthology edited by Danielle Binks, Frostblood and Fireblood by Ellie Blake, The Goddess Test, Goddess Interrupted and the Goddess Inheritance by Amy Carter, The Awakening by Kenneth Chisholm, Yours ER by Terrence Blacker, The Selection, The Elite, The One, The Heir, The Crown, and Happily Ever After by Kira Cass, Just a Girl by Jane Caro, The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton, The Silent Invasion by James Bradley, The Midnight Witch by Paula Braxton, Three Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake, and Night Owls by Jen Bennett. And I also have the hardcover edition of Three Dark Crowns up here. I have Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. This is coming out in January, so stay tuned for my review of that one. Words in the Deep Blue by Kath Crowley, The Passage and the 12 by Justin Cronin, The Way We Fall by Megan Crew, A Snape, Stranger Than Fan Fiction by Chris Colfer, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, and The Selection Stories and the Siren by Kira Cass. And then we have The Last Name Sarah by Kristen Ciccarelli, Worlds of Ink and Shadow by Lena Coakley, The City of Mirrors by Justin Cronin, Girl in Between by Anna Daniels, Luna, Conjured by, I think it's Sarah Durst, and On the Other Side by Carrie Coe Fletcher. Then over here we have the Smitten series, so that is Lust and Found, Tall, Dark and Distant by Julie Fission, and Unlucky Break, Piece of Cake and Head Over High Heels by Kate Forster. There's a little Dobby, Nobody's Princess, Nobody's Prize and Sphinx Princess by Esther Freisner, Hitler's Daughter by Jackie French, The Accident Season by Maura Fowley Doyle, The Industry and the Estate by Rose Foster, Things I Didn't Say by Kylie Fornazer, Billy and Me and The One That I Want by Giovanna Fletcher, Black by Fleur Ferris, Lobsters by Tom Allen and Lucy Ivizin, I think it is, The Queen's Lady and the Rogue's Princess by Eve Edwards, and Flint and Silver by John Drake. And I have this little passport thingy for Moon Chosen by PC Cast, although I do not have the book for that. I have Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton, Nightfall by Jake Halpern and Peter Kozłowinski, Science Point to Yes and a Little Something Different by Sandy Hall, Half Bad by Sally Green, An Abundance of Catherines, Paper Towns and The Fault Now Stars by John Green, Pennies for Hitler, A Waltz for Matilda and A Rose for the Anzac Boys by Jackie French. And I have 2 copies of I have 3 copies of Caravel by Stephanie Garber, The King's Curse by Philippa Gregory, My Lady Jane by Hand Ashton and Meadows, you will probably all know their full names anyway, and Rebel Bell by Rachel Hawkins. This is my Abby Glines shelf, because you guys should all know by now how much I love Abby, and I've got so many books that they don't actually fit on this shelf. I also have a little, this is a letter in a bottle that was for one of the Buy On Your Bibliothons. So, we have Breathe, Sometimes It Lasts, Fallen Too Far, Never Too Far, Forever Too Far, Rush Too Far, Twisted Perfection, Simple Perfection, Take a Chance, One More Chance, You Were Mine, When I'm Gone, When You're Back, The Best Goodbye, Up in Flames, Because of Low, While It Lasts. Actually take these ones out for a moment. Just for Now, Misbehaving, Hold On Tight, Bad For You, Until the End, The Vincent Boys and the Vincent Brothers. Then I have the 3 books in the Field Party series, so that's Until Friday Night, Under the Lights and After the Game. Finally, I have Like a Memory. So on this shelf, I have a cute AF little skeleton, but we have Switch, Torn, Ascend, Frostfire, Ice Kiss, Crystal Kingdom, Wake and Freaks by Amanda Hocking, Winter Shadow by MJ Hurl, Don't Look Back by SB Hayes, and The Killing of Kayla Sloan by Kim Harrington. And then we have Legacy of Kings and Empire of Dust by Eleanor Herman, Cleopatra's Shadow by Emily Holloman, Wesley James Ruin My Life by Jennifer Honeyborn, Splintered and Roseblood by A.G. Howard, and The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. And over this side we have 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, 50 Shades Darker, 50 Shades Freed and Greyed by E.L. James, Velvet by Mary Hooper and Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, Illuminate and Gemini by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and Nevernight and God's Grave by Jay Kristoff. Okay, so these are the other little shelves I have. So let's get into it. So across the top, use the mess behind it. We have The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson, The Coffee Palace by Adele Oglia-Jones, Fallen, Torment, Passion, Fallen in Love, Rapture, and Unforgiven, and The Betrayal of Natalie Hargrove by Lauren Kate, Revenants, The Odyssey Home by Scott Kaufman, These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, 11/22/63 by Stephen King, Storm Dancer by Jay Kristoff, The Dead House and The Creeper Man by Dawn Kurtajich, My Sister Rosa by Justine Laverencia, and The Hearts We Sold by Emily Lloyd Jones. This first shelf, we have Shatter Me by Tahira Murphy, Stalking Jack the Ripper and Hunting Prince Dracula by Kerry Maniscalco, A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, Throne of Glass and Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas, Daughters Unto Devils by Amy Lukovics, Something Only We Know by Kate Long, We Were Liars, and The Disreputable History of Frankie Lando Banks by E. Lockhart. Up the top there is my Akatar colouring book. Then I don't know where my first Narnia book is, but I do have it. So then there's The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, The Horse and His Boy, Prince Caspian and the Voyage of the Dawn Treader by C.S. Lewis, Tomorrow When the War Began, The Dead of the Night, Third Day the Frost, Darkness Be My Friend, Burning for Revenge, The Night is for Hunting, and The Other Side of Dawn by John Marsden, and Wicked Lovely by Melissa Marr, and Looking for Ali Brandy by Melina Machetta. And there is Darkest Mercy by Melissa Marr, Scone of the Sun by Nicola Marsh, and The Darkest Secret by Alex Marwood. Then down here we have TTYL, TTFN, Lady Gator and YOLO by Laura Miracle, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstein, Beside Myself by Anne Morgan, Heartless by Marissa Meyer, When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon, The Outliers by Kimberly McCreet, The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson, and Moxie by Jennifer Matthew. Then there is Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson, Soundless by Rochelle Mead, Ferris by Marissa Meyer, and A Light in the Desert by Anne Montgomery. Then finally on this part of the shelf there is Cinder and Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, Brian's Winter by Gary Paulson, Dreaming Anastasia by Joy Preble, Goddess by Lauren Powell, Frankie by Siobhan Plaza, Catherine the Virgin Widow by Jean Pladley, Night Film by Marisha Pessel, My True Love Gave to Me, edited by Stephanie Perkins, Hatchet by Gary Paulson, Queen of Hearts by Colleen Oakes, Evermore by Alison Noel, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, and Sabriel by Garth Nix. Finally, this is my last shelf. This contains my graphic novels, poetry books and short stories, and classics. So at the top here we have Remade, which is a serial book, Degrassi graphic novels number 1 and 2, Through the Woods by Emily Carroll, username Evie, username Regenerated, and username Uprising by Joe Sugg, Road to Riverdale by a whole bunch of people, Sex Criminals Volumes 1, 2 and 3 by Matt Faction and Chip Zdarsky, The Wicked and the Divine Volumes 1, 2 and 3 by Kieran Gillian and Jamie McCleave, East of West by I think it's John Hickman Volume 1, Chew Volume 1 by John Layman, Saw Rebirth by someone, The Fade Out Volume 1 by Ed Brubaker, Charmed Season 9 Volume 1, 2, 3 and 4, and Charmed Season 10 Volume 1 by Paul Ruditis, Witches by someone Snyder, that's Volume 1, and Saga Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan, Sleepy Hollow and Other Stories by Washington Irving, The Fox, the Captain's Doll and the Ladybird by D.H. Lawrence, The Penguin Henry Lawson Short Stories by Henry Lawson, From the Edge of the Pacific by Adele Oglia-Jones, The Penguin Best Australian Short Stories edited by Mary Lord, Arms Race by Nick Lowe, and The Turning by Tim Winton, and up the top here we have The Park Bench by Chabot. Onto my classics, we have Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, The Mill and the Floss by George Eliot, Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons, The Princess Bride by William Goldman, Printer's Devil Court by Susan Hill, The Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer, Wildcat Falling by Mud Ruru, The Australian Ugliness by Robin Boyd, The Mystery of a Handsome Cab by Fergus Hume, The Homegirls by Olga Masters, and The Monarch of the Glen by Compton Mackenzie. As you guys all know, I also have a non-fiction shelf, but that hasn't really changed much since my last video, but I will link to my last non-fiction bookshelf tour so you can check that out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you got to see what books I own, and I hope you like how my bookshelves are laid out. Let me know in the comments below what books you think I should read next. Most of these books are unread, unfortunately, but let me know what book you think I should check out next. Otherwise, check on my blog and Goodreads for reviews of the books I have read. That is it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next week with another one. Bye!